TUFF SHIFT. Hello, world, and welcome back to another episode of TUFF SHIFT, the podcast where we unpack all that goes into surviving the job and living the dream. I am your host, Sean Patrick Murtagh, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably thinking, is he in his pajamas doing this opening? Oh, baby, you are right. Cause why? Because it's the holiday season, and I am so fucking tired. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, that's true. I am. And, trying to get moving pieces, putting my show together, which is coming to San Francisco on December 21st. That's a Sunday at 5 p.m. at Feinstein's at the Nico. The 13th installment of my hit holiday concert series, Holiday Test Drive 13, Sparkle and Joy. That's the theme this year. Sparkle and Joy. I have some familiar songs, a brand new song, some arrangements of familiar songs, and plenty of stories, old and new, to share with you. I'll be joined on stage by the phenomenal Aaron Allen, who will literally be coming back into town from tour, not just to play the show, but maybe I'll say that, it makes it more impressive. But tickets are on sale, and it is getting close to sold out, so get your tickets now. This is a wonderful opportunity to, didn't plan anything for your friends, family, or coworkers, like an outing. Like, what do we do? Group sales exist. You can go to feinsteinssf.com and buy your tickets. Grab a group of 5, a group of 10, a group of 20. Come on now, tickets are flying. This is your last chance to impress your friends with a mediocre drag queen. I'm not a drag queen. I'm a drag duchess. Duchess? Yeah. I'll say a duchess. I do my soft drag. But it's going to be a fun, fabulous, gay show. Gay. He's gay, Dad. Gay. That's what the show is. So FeinsteinsSF.com to get your tickets to Holiday Test Drive 13 Sparkle and Joy, where I will be debuting a brand new song entitled Sparkle and Joy, written by my friend G. Enrique and Justin Anthony Long. Fabulous song. It is stretching me as a singer and a musician, and I'm living for it because, right, we want to look for things that make us grow, and it is just so fulfilling to sing. It's really, I was like, I can't sing this, and then I started singing this. I'm like, I can sing this. I can sing it pretty darn well. So come hear the song, come hear the stories, and yeah, enjoy some holiday cheer. That's why I'm going to inject y'all with holiday cheer, all right? And that's exactly the reason why I'm wearing pajamas, like a little Christmas morning. No, that's not the reason why I'm wearing pajamas. Like I said, I'm tired. But today is part 2 of my conversation with Josh Bardier, who, if you see Josh coming on this show, you know good and goddamn well that's going to be a 2-parter, because even when he reached out to be like, hey, I know the holidays are coming, was wondering if you wanted to talk about, sobriety, mental health, self-care. I was like, yeah. And again, I probably shared this last week with you. We got on the phone and it was just like a show, or maybe it's coming up in the part today. Anyways, we got on the phone and had a conversation that should have been the episode, because we're gonna sketch it out, like, what do we want to talk about? And then we had like a conversation the length of a show, and I knew this was going to be a 2-parter. And it's exciting. I think we covered a lot of ground, talked about a lot of important things and some silly things, and had a great time. And I hope you enjoy listening to Josh as much as I enjoy talking to him and knowing him. And let's just give him a big congratulations, because by the time you're hearing this, the show that he was guest starring in, Anthony Fett, Gayer Than Christmas, has just finished. So yay, they did that. And I was checking it on Facebook at work. They were doing a live feed. So that was pretty cool to see that. Don't tell my bosses. And yeah, just congratulations. And I can't wait to get to this conversation. But before we do, we got some ground to cover. I also wanted to address how appropriate it was that when I filmed the first episode, the first part of this with Josh, about taking care of yourself, about not burning out, about all these things. That morning, I was burnt out. I was exhausted. We had a crazy weekend. My physical body was sore. My spiritual body was drained. And it's like, gotta film this. And he's on the East Coast and got here. And then my internet was doing whatever my internet was doing. So that was fun. And God bless Josh, who was so patient and so loving, and just we made it work. It was what it took to make the show was not as long as it was to film it. Like, I mean, or was longer than the actual episode ended up being. It took a long time, and Josh was so generous with his time. But I just thought it was like appropriate that, like, oh, we're talking about burnout, and I am like at zero. I'm running on fumes, and the internet's doing what it's doing, and we had to restart, and blah, blah, and he's freezing, and all of a sudden he's gone, then I'm gone. Then literally I just surrendered, because at one point the entire first part of last week's episode was gone, and I was like, okay, that's what that is, isn't it? That's exactly what that is. And there was nothing I could do about it. So I was like, I'll just do what I need to do. And I think because I surrendered, maybe not because I surrendered, maybe this is just how technology works. But of course, I look at it from a spiritual end. I'm like, maybe it was my surrender that brought it back, because later that night, it magically appeared. And I was so relieved not to have to refilm anything and try and get my thoughts in order. I was like, maybe the universe is telling me, like, I shared a little too much, or I seemed a little too tragic. But hey, this show, like I say, the things I say on here may not be the nicest, but I always want them to be the most sincere and honest and coming from a true place. And that's where I was at last week. All right. So let's talk about what's been going on at work for me. Because, again, if you don't know, I am working on leaving this industry completely, almost completely, like 95%. I still, Jeremy and I were driving up to his parents for Thanksgiving the other week, and we passed a place that I work at, an institution that I cater at. And I just turned to him and I said, it'll be so nice to be done with this restaurant, because then I can just like pick up random catering shift at this institution or its sister institution. Cause like they're so good to us. They're like, and I really enjoy it. Like I enjoy my team. I enjoy, even the guests that come, and just even when it's crazy, like catering, at least with this company, my other catering companies suck. But I'll keep them if I need to supplement. But this one specifically, it's like we always have a good time, even when it's not a good time, if that makes sense. Like we always make it a good time. We always have fun. They always feed us. They always feed us. And it was just so funny that I'm like, I want to get out of this industry mostly so that way I can pick up shifts at this institution in LA catering. Yeah, that's interesting. So I'll still have, on the ground coverage of live events as they take place. But I want to take advantage of the fact that I'm deep in it and share as much of the ongoing news as it happens, before this is just some walk down memory lane and it's just retelling stories and trauma and like, wasn't that funny? I want to get to a place where it's funny. It's not funny now. Save me. And speaking of not funny now, let's talk about the chef who owns the restaurant I work at. He is, I don't think I did it on here. I think I did it on the socials, what they call the reel or the TikToks. About this chef owner who is a chef owner, but really is not part of the day to day. He's just like apparently a celebrity chef, uh, which this one I do believe is a celebrity chef. But not like the last celebrity chef where I was like, let's compare notes. Google both of us and see what comes up. This one, I know things would come up if you Googled him, but he's still annoying as fuck. And he like walks in like, you're never here. And I get like your name is attached to it. So yes, use that and run with it and take the name you've built for yourself and make the most success out of this and all the restaurants you co-own. But please stop coming in here hot all the time. Like that time I shared on the TikTok where him and his wife and a couple guests come in and you're not here, you don't know me, but he always likes to make it seem like he's Auntie Mame and it's just like, or good time uncle just coming in and everybody loves me. I'm the good time. Blah, blah, blah. It's like you literally don't know my name. You literally don't know my name. And when he came in with his wife, and afterwards, they had dinner and they came up to the bar, like, oh, the drinks. Hey, Captain. Hey, Captain, thanks for the drinks. The drinks were phenomenal. And I was like, stop calling me Captain. But he kept calling me Captain and like trying to shoot the shit. And it's like, I'm not a straight guy. And even though I'm queer and could be broy like that, I'm not broy for you, baby. I don't know you and you don't know me. And you're just like inserting yourself and you're just kind of making it seem like something's there to like show off to your guests, but it's not real. And I can't. I turn into, if you know me in real life, I'm the life of the party. I love talking to people. I know sometimes I sound like a little dark and like negative here, but I really do love human interaction. And with him, it's just like I can't fake it. Oh, there goes my eyebrow. I can't fake it. I just can't fake it. And he's just like talking at me. And the other day he comes into work and like I'm opening the bar. I go on my break because, I have to break before the service starts because then my next coworker isn't in for hours and blah, 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 blah. So I'm on my break. I'm clocked out. I'm, on my phone promoting my show, doing what I got to do, which is, December 21st at 5 p.m. at the Hotel Nico. Fine Things at the Nico. And I'm doing my thing. I'm eating my dinner lunch that I prepared myself because they don't feed us here. And I'm just trying to like do my thing. Like I have a half hour to myself before I have to turn it on for the guests. And he comes out, hi everybody. I was like, fuck, how long is he here for? Because when he's here, it's just I'm sure it's the same thing in office settings too. Like when a regional manager is here, da 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 da, and they really try to make it seem like this is a friendly, fun environment. And it's like, you don't know. So just shut up, tell us what you need to tell us, and move on. I don't want to play this game. And he's just like, I'm like, please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. And he's trying. It's just me and him in this one section of the restaurant that's curtained off, and for us to have our break in. And he's trying to engage with me. I'm like, I'm not biting. And he's asking questions, and I'm literally just, oh yeah, looking up to make it him know, oh, I'm taking a break from what I'm doing because I'm literally typing on my phone. But oh yeah, I'm sorry, what did you say? Oh, yeah, yeah, that's great. And then I go back to my phone, take a bite, and it's like because I'm doing that, he's trying harder, but I'm like, I'm not. If I'm gonna make him work his ass off, and he's going on about everything and anything you can imagine, even Madonna and all the work she's had done. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, and then he's, but I'm not judging. I was like, this pretty sounds like you're fucking judging. And then another waitress comes in and she's sitting down folding her napkins, and he's talking he's like, I went to my eye doctor the other day, and they were talking about how I need to get my eyelids done, and I need, some plastic surgery. That's crazy. Wouldn't hear that in Minnesota, I bet. And she's just like, oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm from Milwaukee and da. And he's like, oh, I'm from here, and it's like, girl, you took the bait and now you're stuck. And so they're talking, and he's just going on and so loud. And just when someone's, it's like, you're not talking to me, you're talking at me. And it's too much energy, and I don't like it. And then it gets to one point, and I hear him go like, where are you from? He didn't speak like he's from New York. He's like, where are you from? You. 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 Where are you from? You. You. And then my coworker is like, Sean, he's talking to you. And it's like, oh, me. I'm Sean. I'm Sean. I'm Sean. I'm Sean. And I'm from San Francisco. He goes, oh, I love that place. Oh, blah, blah. I'm like, me too. Yeah, love it. And go back to my eating. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why do you have to come in so loud? And I just kept thinking like my abuelita, este hombre no deja de hablar tanta bulla porque grita tanto. It's just like, why? Because I'm a little old Salvadoran lady inside. And it's just like, it's so fucking annoying. Like, why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Why are you talking so much? Like, Jess, and then I get back to my work, and he's there for at least 2 hours talking at my manager, which I'm kind of loving. But I can hear him on the other side of the wall. I'm at the bar, I have customers, and he's so loud, and he's screaming for the chef, like who's actually like the chef owner, like she's the chef who is a co-owner, but is actually on site, and it's her menu, and he's screaming for her. And then, like, literally right after that, he comes out, and our hostess had a water bottle on the table because she had just finished her meal, and she was getting back to work, and she just went to go run her place to the dish pit. And he comes out and he's like, what's this? What's this? And I was like, oh, that's the water bottle. She just went to take her dish. And like, well, there's customers. We got to be professional. And she's like, he's doing this whole thing. It's like her water bottle has been there for like 30 seconds. And had just happened to see it. And he's giving me this lecture about being professional after screaming across a restaurant with guests in it. I was like, oh motherfucker. So in that time, going back a little bit, when he's there and our managers have to pretend like they actually do a pre-shift, and we have to like talk about like, oh, what's coming up and da 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 da, and comes a conversation of our holiday party, and that nobody really knows about. They're still kind of getting the word out that there's going to be a holiday party at our restaurant. And it's just like, whew, you thought the canned food drive was like not successful, asking your staff to fill your bins with canned food so that way you can look better to the community, and you're having your staff donate food from their pantry when you don't feed them on a daily basis. That's crazy. And it's like, you think we want to come to this holiday party, especially with the fact that it's one, a dry event, which I understand. So apparently there's this legend that a few years ago, somebody who worked like a hostess who was not 21 showed up lit and da 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 da, and it ruined it for everybody. And it's like, that's, you're just being cheap. You're no, let's. I mean, yeah, that was bad, and you should have reprimanded her, if not fired her. That's a liability for you. I get that, but like, now everyone has to pay. Okay, okay, I get that. So it's dry. It's on a Monday night at 10 p.m. So they're closing the restaurant early, which I'm like, let's see if it really starts at 10 p.m. because they are so guest focused that if somebody comes in, they're going to serve them. They're going to push back the party. And people are coming out on a Monday night at 10. This isn't New York, baby. This is not the hospitality industry like in New York or even in more of a downtown LA. This is like outer skirts LA, suburb. People aren't going to party on a Monday night at 10 p.m. for a dry event. And, they want us to do like you can participate in a Secret Santa, $40, $40 gift, limit, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you want us to participate in this Secret Santa and spend money when we're not really making that much money for the amount of work. Okay, so it's on a Monday, it's dry, we got to buy a gift. Then you might raffle off gifts. There's a raffle for gifts, which I'm just like, that tells me that not everybody is going to get a gift from the restaurant, which I don't understand how California functions. In New York, I never did not receive something from a restaurant I worked at over a holiday. Never. Now, granted, at Sardi's, it was, a little different. It wasn't officially from Sardi's, but we did a gift exchange with our staff. And my God rest his soul, Tommy, one of my favorite coworkers ever, hosted our Christmas party at his place in Queens. And it wasn't just our restaurant family, it was his family. So they came down from the Bronx, big old Irish family from the Bronx. And then our hodgepodge of all the servers from Sardi's coming together to have our own holiday party. But like, at least it was something, right? When I worked at Cook Shop, every year, two tickets to any AMC, and it was like, and it included a buttered popcorn. Like, it's something. It doesn't need to be that crazy. It doesn't be a huge holiday bonus. Something. When I worked at French Roast, depending on how long you work there, every year for the holidays, you get anywhere from $50 to $150 in gift certificates to be used at any of their 6 sister restaurants. Like, that's generous. And I have stuff to say about every one of those restaurants, but I also have good things to say because I am what? Fair. And I just know, like, I mean, the very first job I had here in LA, they gave us a holiday gift in theory, and it was a discount code to use to In Kind. So if we download the In Kind app, which is an app you can, take to a restaurant, if a restaurant is a participating restaurant, you can just pay your bill on the phone. And, In Kind is pretty cool. I think everyone should download it. It's free. And it'll tell you, like, in your neighborhood, like, oh, this restaurant's offering 20%. So you go just order your regular meal, and then on In Kind, you get the 20%. I'm not sponsored by In Kind, just so you know, I just think it's amazing. But this place gave us a 20% discount code to be used on our first purchase through In Kind after we download the app. But if you were to go on your own to In Kind and download the app, you would get a 20% off your first purchase, at least back then. And it was like, but the difference is that In Kind would know you got this discount code from this restaurant, so then they would get a credit. So it's like, so you're giving us a gift that we have to spend money to redeem in order to get you a credit from this payment processing app. Like, that's rich. That's rich. And I'm just feeling like this. I'm like, you're putting a raffle in this place I'm at now. Like, you're having a raffle for Christmas gifts, which tells me not everyone is going to get a gift. And just to put the fucking cherry on top, I saw this last night with that stupid little poster of their little Santa staring me in the face, talking about this staff holiday party. It's a potluck. Yeah, a restaurant is making us provide the food. They literally refuse to feed us. What the fuck, guys? A pot? Nobody's going to this party. And they're like, oh, why aren't people signing up? Oh, I noticed people like, and he looked at me, my manager, and it's like, I'm not the one. I am my mother. I am my abuelita. You ask me a question, I'll tell you the truth. He's like, oh, are you gonna come to it? And I looked at him in front of this chef owner, and I said, no, I'm not. You will not see me there. He goes, oh, really? I was like, baby, no, it's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night. I got a show coming up at Feinstein's at the Nico, December 21st at 5 p.m. Like, I no, I'm living like a nun. He's like, oh, I guess that's fair. But it's like, let's see what other people's excuses are. And there's no way to get across the fact that like morale is low. Because when I've tried to explain to them what they're doing wrong, not in a like, you're doing wrong, but in a way when they ask like, how should we do this? And I'm like, why not do it the way it's supposed to be done, the way every restaurant does it, and they do the complete opposite. It's just like you don't even like you can't even you can't comprehend it. You just can't comprehend it. And before I let you go on this, this is how guest focused they are to at our fault to our what's the opposite of benefit, detriment. I don't know. They waited too long on a reservation and they sent the people to the bar. The people had their drinks. They finished their drinks. They closed out with us and their table still wasn't ready. And they didn't want any more drinks. They were going to wait till they get to their table. And they came back behind the bar, the manager and the hostess, and were like, oh, we should have bought, oh, I wish we would have told you sooner. Like, we should have bought this round of drinks. And they're standing there. I'm like, you're not voiding that payment. And like, but I'm like, no, you can buy them something when I get to the table. Like, but it's just taking too long. It's like, yeah, and they're still here. So you still have time to buy them stuff, but you're not voiding our payment because that has our tip. Like, you're going to void that. Like, and also in hospitality, you never kill a sale. You add on to it. So if they say, oh, we're going to order the tiramisu, you're not going to comp the tiramisu. You're going to send them the tiramisu that they ordered, and then you're going to send them the donuts. Or you're going to send them the creme brulee. Like, you never kill an order. Like, and I just don't understand, like, but it's specifically when that sale that has been closed out, because most restaurants, like, try anything and everything to avoid having to void a payment. Because it's just like, then it sits waiting on their customer's card and the customer calls back. And it's like, why do I have this pending thing? It's like, oh, well, it's pending because as soon as it's processed, it'll show that it was voided. But it's like, it's just a headache. It's a headache. And I'm like, how do you guys not know this? And more important than any of that, you're willing to take money out of our till, out of our tip to promote, to make you, when you could just send them drinks and what? Happy fucking holidays, everybody. All right, speaking of happy fucking holidays, I have some people to promote here. Some past guests who, like I said, we can make our gift giving an opportunity to support artists with their small businesses and the cool things they have going on. So this past summer, my friend Sam Given came on the show to promote his work as a sugar artist in New York, which if you don't know what sugaring is, it's kind of like waxing, but I think a little more natural. I don't really understand how it works. It just, apparently it's not as painful as waxing, but it's basically you make this sugar paste and you just peel off people's body hairs. And, his content is a little spicy because, waxing people is a little spicy, but he does it with so much love and care and really thoughtfulness in making people feel safe. So it's just kind of that thing where it's like, love your body, experience your body, but also know you're safe here. And his sugaring business is called Sweet Cheeks NYC. And you can follow him on Instagram at Sweet Cheeks NYC, and also visit his website, sweetcheeksnyc.com, and you will get 15% off your first visit. You don't got to mention me, but you can tell him Large Mart sent you once you get there. I don't get any credit for this. I just want him to pay his bills, not having to work in a restaurant. And so, just a little bit about body sugaring. Body sugaring is a gentle, natural hair removal method that quickly is becoming a favorite alternative to traditional waxing. Made from just sugar, lemon, water, sugar paste is 100% natural and free from resins and harsh chemicals. Unlike waxing, which adheres, okay, so that's how that goes, all right? And it's just like, boom. And Sam is a working actor who made the jump from fitness to an esthetician earlier this year and has just been loving it and creating a beautiful client list and community of people feeling more comfortable in their bodies, loving their bodies, and experiencing other bodies in a different way. Like, be hairy for 3 months, be smooth for 3 months, do whatever feels great for you. But if you are interested in this and you're in New York City, reach out to Sam and give it a shot. 15% off? Why not? The next is, I just love him. I love him. Blake Zolfo, who is an incredible tenor. Just such a beautiful, resonant voice. Just, the crystal clear ping of his voice. I could listen to him sing all day. But he's also a yoga teacher, and he grew up in yoga. His father is a yoga teacher, so he grew up his entire life doing yoga and has been certified. He has like 20 something years of experience in yoga, and it's like, you're a baby. How do you have 22 years? And it's like, oh, well, because you started as a baby. But I have worked with him on many occasions. I specifically part of his certification when he was reaching out, like, hey, I need people that want to be guinea pigs. And I was like, sign me up. And it was phenomenal and transformative. And I'm not being hyperbolic. We had such an amazing time. And I think we both grew together through that experience. And he's just so gentle and caring and really sits with you and working through whatever you need to work and helping you experience your body. Again, we're talking about body experiences. So you can you can find Blake by Yoga with Blake Lee on Instagram, or you can go to yogaroom.com and look up his schedule. He offers classes at Ripley Greer, which is amazing for actors and performers who are hitting the ground running this January for audition season. That's, I think it's an amazing business model he's doing to right where we are all putting ourselves on the line and using our bodies to get work in singing and dancing and whatever, to have a place in that studio to where you can come restore and replenish and just take care of your body, especially at this time of year. So if you know any actors, singers, whoever living in New York City that could benefit from this body work with Blake Lee, go to the yoga room, buy a class pass, let them know that this is available. And just don't forget to follow them also and like their content. If you can't buy, you can support by liking, commenting, and sharing. All right, I've talked enough. Let's get back to Josh. You know who he is. He's amazing. He's wonderful. Josh Bardier, take it away. Hello, San Francisco. It is that time of year. We are spreading a little Christmas cheer at Feinstein's at the Nico on December 21st at 5 p.m. for the 13th installment of Holiday Test Drive. This year is all about sparkle and joy and being fabulous and all the beautiful things about the holidays to get you in the holiday spirit. So get your tickets today. I am joined again by the one and only, the fabulous Aaron Allen at the piano, and we've got a great show. We've got some stories that you love to hear. We got some new stories. We got some new arrangements and a brand new song. A song written specifically for this show's theme, which this year is Sparkle and Joy, written by my friend and collaborator, G. Enrique and Justin Anthony Long. I cannot wait to learn it, and I can't wait to debut it with all of you in San Francisco. So get your tickets today at feinsteinssf.com. That's December 21st at 5 p.m. We'll see you there.
I saw this beautiful, frightening clip on Instagram, and I'm trying very hard to be less on social media. But I am very grateful that I've curated my little feed enough that if I go on for my couple minutes of a day, I see something that always I tend to talk about for a week. And it was just this little post that said something along the lines of, it's fascinating how we have changed, where you can post a picture on Instagram and you will be upset if only 15 people like that post. But imagine if 15 people in your day came up to you or said, I love your outfit. It's beautiful. I love your haircut. It's so good. And that was mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Because I started saying to myself, is it because we're so on our phones that we don't recognize that people are saying this? Or are we not saying it enough? Are we thinking it, but are we just so closed off that we're not saying to our friends, to our fellow coworkers, to even just people on the streets, like, I'm proud of you for doing that. Thank you for saying to your manager, like, we deserve food. Like, Thank you. Thank you so much. You should be proud of yourself for saying that. We need to be each other's cheerleaders more
Yeah.
and more. When we're making these shifts, when we're saying this might not be the business that I want to be in anymore, when it's I want to take a break from my acting career for a bit because I have to focus on other priorities and I cannot juggle all of this at once. Friends, I'm begging you right now, if you have friends saying these things, don't meet it with why. Meet it with hey, you're saying something to me and you sound so passionate about it and like it's something you need to do. I'm proud of you. I'm
And I
proud of you
trust
for
you.
listening to your in.
Letting your
And
friends
I
know, say,
trust
I trust you to
you.
make the right decision, because like, don't give up on acting. It's like, I never said I'm giving up on acting. I'm saying I'm taking a break. And in all the, I mean, I've taken little breaks, but they weren't like actual conscious breaks. It was just like this audition season, I'm not feeling it. So I still show up, but I'm not. I would not go to every audition, but I'm still showing up and I'm still, so it wasn't a conscious break. And like, if I need to get out of this industry, if I need to, I've been in LA 2 years and I'm still recovering from the 13 years I lived in New York. Like, I need to take a moment and really, uh, prioritize what, and this is something I'm talking with my therapist about, like, what does acting look like for you moving forward with these changes you want to make? And I said,
Yeah.
I need to treat it like what it is and what it has been for as long as I've been doing it is supplemental. And I'm acting like I'm getting a production contract. I'm acting like I have equity health weeks. I'm treating it like it's my full-time job, and I'm giving up shifts for the idea for a $25 reading. I'm giving up shift, and it's like, that's not, because that $25 reading might lead to this, and then I get to Broadway, or I book a Broadway cruise, or I do this, I can be old Deuteronomy on celebrity cruises or whatever. Just like, which I was called in for old Deuteronomy one time. Everyone in line looked at me like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. If I'm anything, I'm the opera cat. Like, what the fuck? Which is, I bring that up because I saw it on Actors Access this morning. It was like, old Deuteronomy. I'm like,
That's his.
is now my time?
Honestly, yeah, you know what? It's time because you know what? Just stand and sing, baby. be the
Just,
be the
I've heard of several kinds of cat, in my opinion. Now is that?
Oh my! It is. It's setting boundaries. It's asking yourself what do you want. It's taking breaks. It all goes hand in hand, and that's what I love about you and this podcast and speaking out is. But for anyone who listens, whether it's somebody who works as an artist or an actor or a performer or works in the restaurant industry, the bar industry, it's all hand in hand. Everybody experiences this type of burnout, and there are seasons every single year. So we all know from New York City, it's good old January to March can become one of the most busy and then most awful seasons because of summer stock, and it goes on and on and on, and there's so much burnout. And what I'm witnessing more and more in both the industry of performance industry and the restaurant is that the burnout is becoming exactly what you said. People are burnt out, but they don't even know how to name what they're burnt out about
No.
because they don't trust themselves, because they don't know what the next step would be to helping themselves. And unfortunately, what happens in those moments is people start to use band-aids, whether it's the after shift drinks every single night with your colleagues, or you go to an audition and you go for drinks after that. It's a lot of drinks. And the holidays bring out a lot of drinks, and it's
Mm-hmm.
starting to become aware that you are the only person who can take care of yourself. You are the only person who knows what you need. And you need to be listening to, there's the brain here, and then there's that brain in your stomach that some would call your intuition. And it's getting back to a place where you can listen and trust both of those and make the choices, no matter how scary they are, to help yourself. Even if it's just for if it's a little break, great. If it's a couple days, great. If it's a couple months, great. It's going to be as long as you need it to be, because what I'm experiencing more and more with people is they know, but they're not ready to accept. A
Yeah.
lot of people know it's time for a change. A lot of people know their finances could be better. A lot of people know I could be not dating these type of people, or I could not be putting myself out for these type of projects when I want something more, but they're not ready to accept. Then what does that mean next? What's the next move? What's the next intention? And with that comes a lot of scary unknowns. And
Yeah.
it's scary to walk into the unknown. But what we have learned in what I believe to be true is that it's in the unknowns that we get to find our new selves.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. And
inside
being
our new
brave enough to go
selves,
that path. Yeah.
just what one of my favorite books that I always recommend to people is Brianna Weiss, The Mount Is You, and to not make her beautiful writing any smaller than, because it's already a small book, but to not bastardize it, but it's this beautiful image of you are climbing a mountain and you will get over that mountain and then you will walk down that mountain and there will be another mountain. And
Yeah.
if you look behind you, you will see that there have been hundreds of thousands of mountains that you have already climbed and scaled down. And that is life. That's continual. There is no just like straight linear moment. And especially in the industry for actors, there is no longer a ladder of, if I do regional, if I do this, and then I do higher regionals, and then I do off Broadway, and then off Broadway brings me to Broadway, and there is no such thing of that anymore. Talent is coming from all different places and directions, the needs, the wants of what casting is looking for, etc. It's coming from everywhere, all ends of the spectrum, from whether you have done 5 Broadway shows or you're really, really popular on Twitch. Like, it's just the reality we're in. So that's a business, though. Like, that's a business with its own systems and game. What's the game you're playing with yourself?
Yeah.
Do you
Exactly.
like
Because
it?
if you want to be if you want those credits, and that's more important, and you want those equity health weeks, which are really important, if that's the game where you're looking at the business, then you do have to follow the steps. You do have to get your followers up. You do have to do X, Y, and Z. You've got to sing every single note possibly written ever. Like you have to do all these things. Always be available at the drop of the dime, to leave a family event to record an audition, to leave this, to stop where you are, to have your partner record you doing that. You have, if that's what you want and that's your end game, know that you can achieve it, or your likelihood of achieving it is in the sacrifices you have to make and the steps you have to follow. But if you're, which I was told this in college, and it's like just now, all these years later, like really like in talking about just reestablishing myself and as a creator and a creative person and a performer, is what feeds your artist soul. Because I already know that I'm
Mm.
not making the Broadway money now, so I need to do stuff that doesn't impact my financial bottom line. I need to do shows that are worth taking time off work and really feeds like what nourishes what I need to do, which is recently I did a 99 seat theater contract, which is not a great payday, but it was a great experience. And it's like, I can stand by the work I did there. And that's why I dropped my commercial agents recently, because I was like, this is just an avalanche of stupid fucking auditions. Commercial auditioning, if you're listening, commercial auditioning is fucking nuts. And it's like I had this just like these the most random things where you're expected to produce the commercial for their audition.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is, and it's always because I made the choice, like I need to make some shifts in my life. And then these agents pop up, and then it's all these distractions. And it took me a while to be like, oh no, 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 no. This is exactly what I said I didn't want to do. And I fell into a trap. And it's not about beating yourself up for falling into a trap. It's just about being aware and be like, do you want to maybe reroute, or do you want to see where this is going? But like, I think to your point, like listening to yourself, when this is telling you something and the gut is telling you something, you know it's worth looking into. Don't be like, oh no, but
Yeah.
I can't take a break now. And like, and I also want to connect two things that you said, because I went off on a side quest in my brain as soon as you said these two things, which maybe you tied them together, and I was in my little side quest. But you're talking about the burnout of the holiday season, and then the burnout of audition season. And for people listening that don't know, the holiday season ends, and literally January 2nd is when, so you're not even recovered from your New Year's plans and outings, but you get auditions. I've had so many auditions January 2nd, callbacks scheduled
Yep.
for January 2nd. And so it's like, I just got through surviving the holidays, and now I'm in the coldest part of New York and going into a financial hardship because it's going to be the slowest month in New York, but then the most output that I have to put into auditions. And it's like, we don't get a break. So we start at November, and we don't get a break till May. And I
No,
never
we
thought of those two pieces together until you brought it up. Like, holy shit.
it's terrifying. It makes you understand why in your 20s especially it seems somewhat uh, doable without even thinking about it, that you just, oh, this is just the way it is. And but as you get older and you mature more and you become more self-aware of where you're putting your energy, you realize like, I don't have a moment to breathe. And that's why I've had so many friends who go through the holiday season working already tired, start audition season on a little bit of energy and hope for a new year, but then start to burn out. Come the end of March, they're basing everything about their self-worth on, I don't I didn't get this callback. I didn't get this callback. I don't have any summer stock jobs yet. And then all of a sudden everybody starts having an existential crisis by April Fool's Day and is wondering, is this the life that they're supposed to be living, or are they supposed to be doing something else? And it can become a very, very difficult spiral to get out of the second you start doubting yourself over everything. And something that you said that really, really spoke to me is, even we taught, so many people in this world, their dream is to be on Broadway. Let's be really clear right now. It is an amazing dream. I have it. I still think that I'll always have that dream from being a little kid and seeing my first show, and just the scope of that, to look out at a theater and be in one of those hallowed halls. But they're not making that much money. They're making money, but they're not making, in the grand scheme of performers in the world, it's not that much when you start at taking out the 15% for the manager, the 10% for the end, and for the agent, 5% for the legal fees. And while yes, it's still a better paycheck than some of us have been paid when it comes to a regional contract, um, they're still doing the same thing regardless. They are having to find ways not only to supplement their income, but how to fill their creative soul, because it does also become a job with its own, internal
Yeah.
job work life struggles, and also physical struggles. You're on rake stages, you're dancing, you're moving, your voice, if your voice is not only your gift but your moneymaker. Now you're going to ENTs all the time, you're going to voice lessons. A voice lesson in New York right now, for those who are listening, is averaging $150 for an hour. That is the average rate from me coaching with people, and hearing based off of what they spend on headshots and voice teachers, etc., acting classes. The average with people I work with is $150 for a 1 hour session, and most teachers recommend every week, if not every other week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So there's even more to add on to the stress of the holiday season. If you work in the industry, you're trying to save that money, to be able to go and take these lessons, and to be able to take casting director classes and acting classes and new headshots, because your commercial agent wants you to have headshots specifically for commercials, etc., etc. And all of a sudden, I start asking the same thing I ask everyone anytime I work with them. What are you doing today to help yourself? Are you gotta go for a walk? You gotta go get some sunshine? You gotta eat a good meal before you go to work, rather than being like, I'll figure it out when I get there, or when I get off of my shift at 11:30. It, it's like we can go faster in our brains and in our bodies, especially as restaurant workers. We are always 5 steps ahead. It's just how we're built. And we sometimes forget we leave our bodies behind those from those 5 steps. And our bodies need to be nourished, they need to be fed, they need water, they probably need a little caffeine, a little pick
Yeah.
me up. They might need a little chocolate to feel good. They need rest, because let's say the thing that I've been saying my entire life: rest, sleep is not a something that is a luxury. It's a priority. It is a biological need. One must sleep to be healthy. One must sleep to be a human being, to be alive. There is
Yeah.
no getting around it. There is no, I can live. If you are out there on the internet and you're telling the world, well, I optimize by sleeping 3 hours a night and I wake up at 5 a.m. and I cold plunge and all of this, that's fit. If it works for you, it works for you. You found something that worked for you.
But does
That's
it work for
great.
you?
That's but cold plunge. The only time I want to take a cold plunge is the day that I wake up and the heat in my apartment building is gone and I have to
Yeah.
take a cold shower. Like I,
But this is all
if
topical
it,
stuff that you don't know what it's doing to your body. Like you're doing all these, you're saying, oh, I can
no.
optimize this. And it's like, you really do need a full night's sleep. Like tonight, when I get my actual full night's sleep, when I'm not coming off of a bartending shift where it's just like I'm physically drained, and then my body wants to get up at the same time it always gets up. Tonight, I'm gonna get my full, and this shoulder will be down here. My
Mm,
voice will be full. Like it's just the sleep is so important. Like look at when you I actually had a roommate in New York who he could do he worked for Soul Cycle, and he had crazy schedules and would have to like be there to open up for the 5 o'clock class and all these things. And he was like, I can do it for 3 days, but when I get to my fifth
yep.
day, I then need 2 days of nothing, and that was part of what led him to leave working in that type of an environment, to which is like he's burning the candle on both ends. And days 1, 2, and 3, you can do it. Actually, at the restaurant I work now, they call it day 6. Like I'm feeling day 6 because it's like you should not be working right now. You should be resting, and it like you do need to prioritize sleep. You think you can get away with 3 hours of sleep. Oh, that turn my forehead red. You think you can get it, but like it's you don't know what it's actually doing, and then one day you have a nervous breakdown because your pen runs out of ink, and all of a sudden you're crying and on the
Yes.
floor, and it's like, oh, where'd that come from? Where'd that? How'd that
Yes.
do? I want to shift
And
this
it's not
into.
just
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yes, please. No, I was gonna say it's not just about sleep or eating. It all ties in. When you sleep, your nervous system is able to regulate itself again. You're able to. I've been using this phrase a lot, but I feel like many of us are in our lives, whether it's focusing on our career, focusing on just paying our bills, all of it, we are bracing for impact. There is this feeling of everything is so unknown and stressful that your nervous system is firing at all cylinders, because it feels like you are bracing for this giant crash.
Yeah.
And if that's how you're feeling, that's also like we know that's a feeling, and feelings can pass, but you got to step back from that, and you have to go, what can I do to help that? What can I do to allow my nervous system to be like, to know, like, I am okay, this is a stressful moment, but you have to create that time, whether it's just moments of silence, whether it's moments of just sitting on your couch staring at a wall. You have to figure out what works for you, because as we've learned, if a manager does not have the time, or frankly sometimes the care, to offer you a staff meal, they certainly are not going to have the time, energy, or awareness to offer you a mental health day.
No, and regardless of what it says in the training manuals and what they say they prioritize as far as that's not true. So that's why you have to look up for
Nope.
yourself. So they may say we're about community, we're about X, Y, and Z, but they're not. And it's not just our industry, it's anywhere. I have this like healthy um uh level of distrust in everything and everybody. And it sounds dark, but it's like I think a healthy level of distrust and knowing that like nobody's looking out for you as much as you need to look out for yourself. People can look out for you, but they're also taking care of themselves. They
Yes.
have all you don't know people's priorities. You only know your priorities, which is why you have to prioritize yourself. And even with when you said if it's staring at the wall, I think on top of that, whatever that time is, I think what even makes those benefits multiply is the fact of when it's intentional. When you're intentionally recovering, you're
100%.
setting that time, not just be like, because sometimes when it's like, is it recovery if I'm just zoning out to the view? Is it recovery if I'm just like doing this? But like, if this is what recovery looks like, because I've decided from this time to this time, or I will find 20 minutes today, I will find 10 minutes, I will find an hour, and just knowing that you made that time for yourself is going to have an impact on you in a way that you're not even going to be able to really compute. You'll feel, but you won't know why you're feeling better about yourself because you put the time into yourself. Um, but I do want to transition to something about another stressor in the holiday season is
Yes.
as performers going home and
Mm.
seeing family and dodging the questions of what are you working on or how's the acting or have you tried auditioning for Broadway or you should ask your so and so because they work next door to, and it's all these silly questions. And also like I had when my first Christmas with Jeremy, he met a lot of my family, and there's one family member who is a family member and is just sometimes problematic. And she is not as much a part of my life as she would lead you to believe in the interaction. So she met Jeremy and immediately started in with, well, yeah, Shawnee Boy, he's been doing the New York thing, really, really giving it a go, but it just really hasn't worked out for him. And I'm across the room hearing, and I'm just like already nervous when I see her go to talk to him. And then I'm
Woof.
hearing it and I'm like, I just fucking headlined at Lincoln Center. Like, it's just like, yeah, I've not been on Broadway. Yeah, I'm not on TV. But like, I'm doing amazing art. Yeah, it's not paying the bills. But you don't know what New York
Mhm.
is. And I just felt so defeated and embarrassed because this is my boyfriend's first interaction with my family. And it's just like, and that is a very specific incident. But it's I think
Yeah.
it's very familiar to a lot of people where you go home and you have to answer all these questions that aren't really questions, they're more like condescending opinions on your lifestyle choices. How do you deal with that?
Yes. I don't go home. No, I do. I love my family. I mean, there. I forgot that we were even going to talk about this. We're talking about like the stresses of work and the stresses of being an actor. Now, add on top of it the stress of you having to go celebrate the holidays yourself. I didn't even no, and like Elaine Stritch said, and you wonder why I drink. Um, it's so challenging. It's so challenging. The first thing that always comes to my mind when somebody asks this question to me, because it actually does get asked a lot at the bar I work at, where people will ask me, how do you navigate this question? And even more so, it's interesting to listen to them because they're trying to figure out how to navigate their family dynamics in their holidays. We're all humans. We're all the same. But I always go back to this thought where I'm like, when you go home for the holidays and that random uncle goes, "Oh, what are you up to?" And if you work at a bank and you say, "Oh, I'm a banker," they're like, "Oh, that's cool. What bank?" And you could be like,
Because it's
"Chase."
respectable.
That's the end. That's the end of the discussion. That's the end. And I have learned in my life as I continue to explore more and more that I practice the art that two things can exist at the same time, and that it can be both.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people ask these questions to actors first, out of the there is the level of, some people are judging, some people don't find being an actor to be a reputable career, to be something that is worth doing. And then the other is just genuine, their fear and nervousness for not really knowing what to say, and not knowing how to navigate that, because they are so used to only existing in a world where they, oh, you're a teacher, what grade do you teach in? Oh, middle school. Oh, that's rough. Oh, good for you, good for you. They don't know, so they get nervous. I'm very, very lucky that I think in early on in my career and in my life, the question was never how's your career going. They would just always ask me, which I appreciate, like, how's New York? And I would always have a great answer, because one thing that I did when I was first nervous about going home or talking to, people when I would see them at the grocery store, is I would plan what to say. Especially when I was younger, I would full on plan what to say. I would take the Metro North to Massachusetts, and I would go through every possible scenario of, oh, what are you working on? Oh, actually, audition season really picks up in January, so right now I just get to enjoy my family. It truly, like,
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
practice. I I did anything I could possibly do to help myself. And while I have explored that a little more in my as I've gotten older, and now that I'm in my later 30s, I've allowed myself to be able to take a pause before people ask me questions, and take that breath. And if I feel that anxiety of, I always do my, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and I don't have to do anything about you. And I just go, work's good. How about you? How's work? If I don't feel like it. But a lot of times, for when my offering to people, when you're going to stressful situations and you just want to get through it, or you want to help your family better understand your life as an artist, think of what you would say. Politicians do it. Every single actor who goes on to a press tour is given training to do it. So it's just basically an exercising you working those muscles already. But if somebody says to you, like, oh, why haven't you been on Broadway before? So quickly I would go, oh, there's some things that I'm interested, but no auditions for it yet. But I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, there's the theater. The theater in there's a theater. I went to go see Grease in it. Why don't you work there? Oh, I don't know about their season. Do you know about it? Do you know what their season is? Oh, I don't know. Let me look on my phone. And then they spend the next 30 minutes trying to use their iPhone 6, figuring out where Cape Cod Playhouse is, and you're left alone. Again, it's the way I would describe this. While it sounds like a little bit of manipulation, it's making it a conversation rather than making it an interrogation. Let them be in on it, because every single person, even if they start to judge you a bit for, like, oh, you're an actor, the second you let them in on how fucking exciting your life actually is, because let's all be real, I know our lives seem boring. I know our lives of traveling to go to this EPA, to go to this ECC, to going here, I know sometimes that just feels like what we call the grind. To people who work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and have 2 weeks off for vacation, we are the most interesting people to them. They
Yeah.
may not understand us, but we are fascinating. You go to bed, even now, 38 years old, been working in restaurants since I was 14. My mom, what time did you get home? Oh, I got to bed at like 3:45. And you're up already? What? It's just, they're not used to it. They don't understand it. They don't comprehend it. Spoiler, we don't necessarily want them to comprehend it, because that makes the magic of when they see us be the incredible actors that we are. When we perform, when we sing, when we open ourselves to being those vessels, that is why people think we're so otherworldly. There's a difference between the person who could have tried and didn't try, and the person who is doing. So any person who's listening right now that is a little scared to go into their home and listen to their family have thoughts about their career, you're doing it. You get to be 80 something years old and you get to go, I tried. I tried to fulfill my dream. I never gave up on it. So regardless of whether Auntie like Mildred understands that or not, has nothing to do with my life. It has everything, again, going back to you. What do you need to say to yourself? Because I would turn it around, go, are you upset by them asking the question, or are you upset by the question?
Hey there, just checking in. I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. And if you are, why not leave us a 5-star review and a comment or two wherever you're listening to this from? And don't forget to follow us on social media at TUFF SHIFT Podcast. That's TUFF Shift Podcast. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. And just a reminder, gratuity's not included, but tips are always welcome. And you can find our virtual tip jar at tuffshiftpodcast.com. That's TUFF shiftpodcast.com. All right, back to the show. Think we know the answer. Because it does internalize the fact that I do feel like a failure for not having done certain things in New York, that I was like, this is the measurement. But then we bring it back to the conversation we have here, where there are merit badges that of things you've accomplished in New York City that no one can ever take away from you. So yeah, you're exactly right. You bring it back in. Like, is it upsetting that she was saying that to Jeremy just as her opinion, or was it upsetting because it like kind of feels a little close to home? Like, I actually do feel like I it's not working out for me, and that hurts, and that's maybe something to talk about with your therapist. And if you're not in therapy,
I,
Jesus Christ, I just started therapy this past fall, and I've done so many like self-help, and I'm very pro therapy, but it's one of those
yes.
things where it's like, are you doing it? And it's like, oh, maybe you should. And I'm unpacking so many things, and I love it so much. I adore my therapist. I also make him laugh, which is great, because it's this thing with performers to where it's like this thing like, do you get my joke? And I just want to make sure this joke isn't going to make you write down in your notes something you should be alarmed about. Like, it's, or should you be alarmed about this joke? But
Absolutely.
I think therapy, if
Absolutely.
you can, especially now, like, there's no better time than right now to get into it,
No.
if you can. Maybe back off the voice lessons for the sake of prioritizing your mental health. Maybe that's, or
Yep.
something, finding a way, like just taking a break from certain things that aren't aligning with what you need in this moment. I'm so happy we're doing this episode about mental health, about sobriety, about taking care of ourselves. I do want to take a little break and talk about some exciting things. It is the holiday season. We're unpacking the stressors. What are you looking forward to for yourself? What is bringing you joy this holiday season?
Oh my goodness. I love New York in during the holiday season. Every single year, it's such a lift. There's joy, the lights, the energy. It always feels exciting, especially the day after Thanksgiving. It just becomes so palpable. I love, for me personally, what I love about the holidays is I have found, at least for now, how the holidays work for me.
Yeah.
I don't go home for Thanksgiving. I haven't gone home for Thanksgiving for many, many years. It is nothing to do with my family. They're wonderful. I just don't want to have to deal with the hustle and bustle of traveling for a meal when I go home often to visit my family, and we have meals all the time. I'm very fortunate that I can see my family, so I don't need to use Thanksgiving as a means of catching up with people. So Thanksgiving has become one that I don't stress about. I don't worry about it. In fact, my Thanksgivings have ranged from visiting other people's houses and their families to going with my best friend to one of our favorite diners that did a terrific Thanksgiving meal.
Mm.
Rest in peace, Neptune Diner. We miss you.
Ah,
Um,
their Cobb
and
salads were
the
so
diners,
good.
I could do just an entire appreciation episode on diners and the people who work at diners. And sometimes I volunteered. One year, I actually, my family, we raised money through friends of friends and everyone. We got about like $200 worth of gift cards from Dunkin' Donuts, and I just kind of walked around New York City that day. It was a beautiful day, and I just walked around. And I looked for anyone who looked like they needed to go get a hot coffee. So I love that Thanksgiving has become something where I don't have to do anything for anyone. And something even in the mental health world that I do every year is I take stock of what I am grateful for. I love to take it as a moment, not to always be on my phone, but if I feel compelled to take a moment to shoot out some texts and let people who I haven't spoken to in a moment, to just let them know I'm thinking of them and I'm grateful for them. But the one thing I always do is I always do my inventory on Thanksgiving. And it's a time that I sit down with paper and I write down every single positive about myself that I
Mm.
like about myself. Not what I need to improve, not what I need to do next year, what my resolutions might be, what my intentions, just what do I love?
Wow.
What really just made me be like, yeah, good, like good job. Like you got yourself through that. You got yourself through that week of having an existential crisis thinking that you didn't know what you were going to do, and today's Thanksgiving and you're still here. Proud of you for that. And the number of times during that inventory list I write that I say, I'm proud of you, Josh. I'm proud of you because I need that. I need to hear that. And then for the rest of the holiday season, for me, what excites me? Oh, it's the lights. It's always the lights. It's not the presents. It's not the foods for me. It's not, it's everybody's, it's the trees. It's the menorahs. It's the Kwanzaa candles. It's the lights. It's this feeling that every single human, whether they want to say it out loud or not, understands that we are in the darkest moments of the year, and yet we all know that light is what not only brings us together, but feeds and heals us. And the fact that every religion has that mindset, and that everybody is walking through trying to find the cute bar to go and hang out at that is nice and cozy. I just love that we're all on the same page for once in the year, where we're just like, it's dark, let's just be dark together and be surrounded by as much light as possible and the hope that light brings. And the other thing is always my niece, my 10-year-old niece. I get it. I get why people have children. At least for Christmas. I get what it's like to be able to, that switch of Christmas not being like it was when you were a kid, but then you being able to watch it through a child's eyes. And I remember those years before she was born of going through the motions of Christmas, which I have learned Christmas is, as Catherine O'Hara said in Home Alone, it is the season of perpetual hope. And I believe that. And the thing that I have hope for is when I look through her eyes as she has gotten older now and see her excitement on the day, that that's going to be an adult, a human someday who is making this world happen. And inside the back of my mind, it reminds me that whatever I do in life in this coming new year, whatever it is, it may feel insignificant, but it's of importance because it is going to affect her. And at the end of the day, my intention is I want you to have a world that you come into and you get to do everything that you are dreaming of, just like I'm doing that. Those are the things that I'm excited for the holidays. I really, really am.
I love that. And I used to make fun of my mom a lot because it's like, what do you want for Christmas, Mom? I'm like, I just want my boys home. I just want to be with my family. And I used to be like, well, what can I get you from Macy's? Like, just like tell me something. And then same thing, because for the longest time, it was almost embarrassing because it was just like we were getting our piles of presents. Our Christmas looked exactly the same every year until I was almost 30, before my first niece was born.
Yeah.
And it was just like our individual piles and our parents always, we each had our own wrapping paper. So we knew whose gifts were who.
Yep.
And so three different wrapping papers, uh, just a ginormous pile. It's like, I'm 29 and I gotta take this back to New York. Like, this is just a little silly. And then my niece's first Christmas, it was like, oh, it was actually that it was still about us, her first Christmas, because she was only days old. She's a Christmas baby. But it was at Christmas that
Oh,
I held her for the first time and I just fell in love. And people are like, "Oh, can I have a turn?" I'm like, "I'm leaving for New York tomorrow." Like, I get the baby, and it was
yeah.
just this most
You can have all the turns
beautiful.
later.
Yeah, and it was just thinking about the next year when it's like, oh my
Yes.
God, I can't wait for the Christmas where it's about her. And then her sister was born, and then my nephews, and then, Jeremy's nephew, our nephew, but like, just these children every year. And it's like this keeping this magic alive. And it's like, I don't need shit. Maybe
Nope.
socks. I don't know. Like, if you want to get me something, but like, I don't actually need a gift. It's like, I have food. I have my wine. I have like we're all here together, like really coming together. What a blessing that is. And I know from one grandma's boy to another how much we love our grandmas. And
Yeah.
one of the best gifts that I have is that the love that she shared with me is something that I can pay
Mm.
forward. And I always talk about, you know, my nephews, one of them, got to meet her, but he was barely a year old. Um, we'll never know her personally. We'll never know how magical she was in firsthand experience. But the love that she left with me is the way that I can keep her alive for others, and especially at this holiday season. Like, it is just one of the most beautiful things. And so because I used to, when I started cooking Thanksgiving dinner, I would call her on the anytime I cooked, I called her and I'd be like, "Abuelita, ¿cómo se hace?" Da, da. And she would just walk me through the recipes because there was no written recipes. It was taste as you go. It was
Never.
do this. If I deviate it, oh my gosh, I didn't tell you that. Who told you that? Because I didn't tell you that. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't put that in there. Just kidding. But like, is there something about your nonna that you keep alive for your niece, or you remember her, especially at the holidays, if you feel comfortable sharing?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're already getting my eyes watering just thinking of her. Um Christmas was always very hard for her. Um because it was such a beautiful time, but and I think about this and I feel like I say this at some point every year. Christmas is so beautiful and it's so filled with hope. And yet at the same time, there are so many people silently grieving. And it's a very hard, it can be both the most beautiful time and the most difficult time for people. And December is very hard for my family because that in December, when I was very little, I think I wasn't even 2 yet. My grandfather, her husband, passed away in December. From Parkinson's disease, and that leaves a mark on you on that time of year because it's your time, it's your remembrance of grieving, and yet it's this time where everybody is sort of telling you to be merry, and that's very hard. And then when I was in the 8th grade, which was 2001, my great aunt, my auntie Annie, who was like another grandmother to me, passed away on Christmas Day. She had a brain
Mm.
aneurysm, and I have vivid memories. I mean, that December especially was being in the emergency room and going to my first funeral and funeral home and wake and everything. And I have those visions, and something that I think she did that always inspired me is her cookies. She is still talked about, even though she has passed, she is still talked about for her Italian cookies because they were probably the only thing that were a written recipe, but to try to explain to somebody what the recipe was, it makes no sense because
Yeah,
everything's done in a way to make the batches that they made, and these Italians were making like 2,000 cookie of each of these cookies, and her making the baskets and the bags so that my uncle and my aunt, who were both very in Worcester, they are on many community boards and organizations, just everybody knowing that they were going to get these cookies, the postman, the hairdresser, everybody. And so the fact that my family still, while they don't make nearly as many and they don't make all of them, they still continue after Thanksgiving to make them. That's when I see there's one specific cookie. It's a cherry cookie with a cherry icing on top. And when I see that, I think of my grandmother every single time. And my mom knows when she makes them, she sets aside a stash for me, because she knows I'm not the biggest with sweets and I won't eat them all immediately, but I will take those. And I say the same thing to you. I'm like, do not give me anything that I have to try to take back to New York, but you better believe I will sit on that train with my little tin box and I'll be like, don't touch my cookies, don't touch my cookies,
These are my cookies.
and these are my cookies. And if there's something that I just thought of that I think about from my grandmother and from my great auntie Anne in that moment, is I never, because of that experience, because of leaving my grandmother's house, the fishes and everything on Christmas Eve, forgetting to say goodbye to my Auntie Annie, and my mom saying to me, don't worry, we're going to see, they're coming over our house tomorrow, like, don't worry, and never being able to say goodbye to her. I do not leave a single room, phone conversation, night where I forget to tell somebody I love them.
Yeah.
And if there is something that I remind myself during Christmas especially, is to look people in the eyes and say, I love you. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And that's me carrying on Mary and her and the love that she had for every single person that she met. Whether she knew you or not, whether she could remember your name, she loved and respected every single person.
That's absolutely beautiful. And wow, I feel like that is a great place to leave this episode. A beautiful remembrance. And, you know, I always like to say we end the episode by giving gratitude for those who make a tough shift easier for us. And I don't think I have to ask you this, because I think we just got that. And so I just want to say to Mary and to your Auntie Anne, wherever you are in our hearts, above, around us, all around, and to my abuelita, and everyone that we keep alive and remember with love and joy this holiday season, thank you for making our tough shifts easier. The world clearly needs more people like you. This is definitely going to be a two-parter episode of Tough Shift. So we're going to record a commercial after this, because we need to plug your show, but the second half is going to come after the show. So we're going to, after we hit stop. So this has been another episode of Tough Shift. And just remember, tough shifts build character. No! Oh, I did say it right. I've been saying it wrong these past couple of weeks. Tough shifts build character, and character is what brings your story to life. I need a full night's sleep. Thank you. Right, let's...
You poor thing. You poor...
Tough Shift was created and hosted by Sean Patrick Murtagh. It was recorded on Riverside and distributed with Buzzsprout. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and maybe a comment or two. And remember, tough shifts build character, and character is what brings your story to life.